You don't fuck with me, nigga, fuck you. You a pussy nigga, I can't trust you. These hoes, nigga, I don't lust them. Nigga sit around like a hoe, talk about a nigga like a pussy nigga. These niggas don't wanna see you make unless the shit gon' help benefit them. On a nigga got him in town, yeah, baby.
To get into what he had going on as far as his music, his legacy, and everything he left behind as far as the main things he was teaching. And I think a lot of people might try to say what he was talking about in his music as far as drugs, shooting or whatever, but I think a lot of things people got from his music, especially me, was motivation as far as independency. He talked about a lot of, as far as especially independency, handling your business, as far as, you know, the way these record labels go, especially if you're a rapper, and as far as owning your masters, which he did own his masters, and as far as I know, for his record label, he owned the master. Well, he didn't. I don't know if he pertained to own the masters of his group members or the people he had signed to his label, because the people he had signed to his label might have owned their masters too, because that was the type of person I think he was. But if they didn't, he owned their masters, and I'm pretty sure he was gonna get them their masters once everything got set up. But did you know anything about Young Dolph? Because I know I recently asked you to check him out, and that was me basically saying, if you haven't listened to him, check him out or whatnot.
Bruh, okay, first of all, I thought he was younger than he was. I didn't know he was like 36, 38.
He started off young though. He been in it for a minute.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't know. I didn't realize how long he had been in the game, because like I didn't even because okay, one of the songs that, because I was just listening to whatever is popular on his Spotify, and it was the song. Jeez, I can't even remember.
Oh, it's all right.
But yeah, it was a song that I was familiar, but I didn't care for the song, so therefore I never got put onto his music, because like nobody ever like said anything to me like, oh, go listen to Young Dolph. I just heard his name a lot, and I was just like, who is this guy? I didn't know anything about him. I mean, like I knew who he was. Like I knew he was a rapper. That's as much as I knew, but I didn't know like the things that he had done for the community, and that he owned. He pushed ownership, because like he was just somebody that just wasn't on my radar. I have no idea why. I guess I don't know, because like when I listened to his music, I was like, I feel like this is stuff I used to listen to when I was younger, and I guess like at the time that he came out, like I probably wasn't even listening to rap music, or like I was listening to rap music, but it was gospel rap, because like I had like a year where I just stopped listening to all secular music. Not all, but like all rap music, all secular rap music. And I just like, I don't know, I just took a break. So I was listening to like a lot of gospel rap, so I didn't even know anything about him when he came out. Because he came out like 2010. I was scrolling back through his discography.
It was definitely early, man. That's one thing I should have had that down, but it was early. He came out. I would say he got popular around maybe 2014.
No. I see some.
But he been out probably since. If it went 2010, it was probably 2011, if not 12.
Yeah, the oldest thing I saw on Spotify was like 2010, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, so he's been out since then. Yeah,
I think that was the oldest thing I saw. Now I'm just seeing 16, 17, 18, 19.
One thing about it, as far as Young Dolph go, you probably didn't hear too much about him, because he was one of those people. Not only him, but as far as him running his record label, PRE, he was kind of, people would say, blackballed because of the way he was running his stuff, because he owned ownership, preaching ownership. Don't no record label want to hear you talking ownership to a bunch of young and upcoming rappers talking about owning their masters and them not. Come on,
he was like, you don't need no label. You don't need no label. Like, cause I listened. Like, I'm a lyricist, so I listened to the lyrics, and like I was just like, it's so funny, because I was like, man, he is all over the place, but he making sense, because like I can tell he raps about what he know about, like, like the life that he lived
Yeah.
before rap, and I'm just like, I get it, why not? Why rap about shit you don't know about? This is what you know, rap about it. I don't blame you. So like, I guess like he just wasn't on my radar at the time he came out. So I just never caught on to him, and I was like, wow,
He
I
had
missed out on something.
his recent artist Key Glock. He recently dropped the album called Yellow Tape 2. He has no features on there, no features, and the features he do have is him featuring himself from a different name though. I mean, it's like, but that album, top of Billboard, I think it's number 7 in top 200 Billboard. I think it's number 1 in rap Billboard. So basically, they still getting their music out here because they have a fan base. They have a dedicated fan base. I think, if I'm not mistaken, ain't none of them independently sold under 30,000 units, especially Young Dolph. So that tells you a lot, just what they doing and what they able to do without having to push from the industry.
Yo,
or they rap peers. Because you know how a lot of rappers will say, yo, go get such and such album. Think about Drake. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, as far as the push.
No, but I see why I didn't listen to his music, because of all of what you just said. Like, what nobody like pumping him up, when nobody else pumping him up like that, as far as like other artists, like, hey, and then also, what controversies has he had? Has he been to jail?
He got a
see. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, there's no headlines about him. Like,
I mean, it's
as far
headlines,
as like,
but I'm not
no,
even gonna
I mean, like, no, you know what I mean. It's like there's been no headlines as far as like shit that could have ruined his career, or like him just doing wild ass shit to women. Like, there's no shit like that out there.
None of that.
So therefore, yeah. So like, I never heard anything bad about him. So, cause like, it's plenty of rappers I can name that I'll be like, I don't listen to their music, but I can tell you a controversy about them. I can tell you somebody they fucked. You know what I mean? Because like, that's how they put. He ain't have himself out there like that. He was about his business. And when you about your business, you you don't be out there in them streets and in them headlines and on the blogs, and not that that's the shit I consume, but it's a trickle down effect. If something popping on all circuits, eventually it's gonna get to your ears because it's popping on all circuits. Versus like, if somebody popping in a circuit that you don't even know anything about, like, you're not gonna hear about it.
I mean, just instance, talking to somebody like me and you, especially somebody like me saying civilians. Dolph was somebody who did talk about the streets or whatnot, but I didn't listen to him pertaining to the streets. I listened to him talking about ways of making it out of poverty, ways of building, back and building up your community and giving people jobs in your community and your family. He talked about all type of things besides drugs and whatever everybody else might be talking about or whatnot. He talked about a bunch of different things that was about building up your people that look like him and everything as far as his community or whatnot. So there's reasons I listen to him. I know.
Yeah, I heard that all throughout his music, because I ain't just like listening to 2 or 3 songs. Like, no, I was listening to him for a good 16, maybe 20 minutes. You know what I mean? That's a good couple songs. It's not just it's not just like, oh, you listen to 2 songs and you made a judgment. No, I was listening because I want to hear what he's saying. I'm dissecting the flow, the cadences. I'm listening to what he's talking about, listening to the beats. You know what I mean? I listen to music in a totally different way than just being like, I don't like this song. Because a lot of people be like that. I don't like this song. You be like, why? And they can't even tell you why, because they don't. What are you listening to when you listen to the song that you don't like about it? I can tell you exactly why I don't like certain songs. And sometimes it's something stupid, but it's just like, man, especially like them 2000s music, like when you go back and really listen to them beats, it's like, they garbage compared to the shit that we got now.
And I think that's another thing I enjoyed about Young Dolph. He had a lot of that old style as far as Memphis type of music and his sound. It has a
He
lot of
is
that
truly
3
a
6
Southern
mafia
rapper.
type of old style and sound, and that's another thing I really enjoyed about him. Another thing was that he wasn't somebody who jumped on a lot of other rappers. He wasn't like, I'm on this rapper's. I ain't gonna say DICK, but he wasn't basically saying, this is my favorite rapper, this is my favorite rapper, or this rapper wasn't basically bouncing for him or whatnot. So that's why I was saying, as far as
Hmm.
the independent and being blackballed, you didn't see a bunch of
Oh
rappers saying,
yeah.
yeah, go buy his album or go do this and
Nope.
the third. But he
They
was
don't want
still able to
leaders.
sell
They want
records and whatnot.
followers.
Yeah,
They
that's
they
it. They
want
want
they
followers.
want followers. They want people that's just gonna influence the masses to do negative shit. Like influence people to stay consumers. They don't want people to become the entrepreneurs. They don't want people to become the companies. Like I said, to me, one thing that makes me angry about hip hop is the fact that black people don't own it. And what I mean own it is we don't own the fucking record labels. We don't make the money. We invented this shit. How are we letting these people have a hand in our shit that we invented?
And that was a thing that was really dangerous about Young Dolph, because that's what he was pushing, the independency.
Mm-hmm.
He was somebody that was on that verge of becoming that Birdman, that Master P. It's a
He
lot
was.
of South artists that are able to do that, especially
Mm-hmm.
pushing that whole distribution deal with a record label by saying, no, give me 80% and you take 10%, take 20%. Let me bring in majority of the income and own my stuff. And that's what Birdman and Master P did, and those are South artists.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying nothing about like New York artists or West Coast artists or whatnot, but those
We
particular,
from the South.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We
Those
talk about
particular
something.
artists did that. And it's a
Right.
lot of other South artists that continue to start doing stuff like that. You got your young thugs out here that are starting to push things
Mm-hmm.
like that with him, building up his YSL or whatnot, bringing in his family, starting to build a whole like record label type of thing. So that's down south artists, and you see that a lot with
Yeah.
down south artists. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But
But yeah, they don't want people to, they don't want that independency. And I'm just like, really? It just makes me angry that more people aren't like this. Like why are we allowing people to touch our money? We the artists, we the creators, we marketing to ourselves. Why are we allowing them to tell us what we can market to our own people?
too, and that's why I listen to certain artists like Young Dolph, and I think the message wasn't being pushed as far as the things you was talking about, like what he was doing with his neighborhood or whatnot, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
popular
it
things
was.
as far as everything you probably gonna hear about, not hear about now, but the things you was hearing about before he passed away was the drugs or this and the third. Not, oh, he pushing entrepreneurship, he pushing
Mm-hmm.
independency. He talking about the poverty in the neighborhood and rebuilding certain things in the neighborhood and putting the people back in the neighborhood to have jobs or whatnot. They not talking about that type of things. Now you gonna hear about those type of things though. Not only that, the things he did for his kids, and I
Mm-hmm.
know he did all those type of things as far as if something was to happen to him, he'll have his masters or certain things going to his kids. But I heard something recently where he owned over 100 properties and would buy a home for his children every year for their birthdays. So that's like,
Wow.
that's generational wealth. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
having his kids having their kids, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the type of thing
Yeah.
I know about Young Dolph, and I've been seeing about Young Dolph.
They don't want I was about to start talking like, yay, I watched it. I watched the other half of it.
Oh, the
But no,
other,
he right. They don't want 10 Kanye's out here. They don't want billionaires. They don't want
yeah,
how many black billionaires are they about to allow? Because think about I know this sounds crazy and it's gonna go to some real conspiracy shit, but like so uh one of the first black billionaires was who? Bill Cosby. Look at what they did to him. Look at how they disgraced him and took his money. And look, they took his money because he fought. He was not gonna plead guilty to that shit, and they knew he was too proud to. They
uh,
took. They said, "Give me that money."
I
They
ain't gonna
took
touch.
that.
I don't know. I still
I'm
got
not
some things.
saying.
I still got some
Look.
questions and things, but I'm not. I ain't. We on Dolph
I'm
right
not.
now. We gonna
I'm
stick with
not
Dolph right
saying.
now. We playing
I'm
respect
not
to Dolph
saying
and
that
what's going
he's
on with
not
Dolph right now.
guilty.
talking
I'm
Dolph.
just saying.
We'll get to okay. I don't know. I done read some things, and I'm still like, as far as that go, but as far as Dolph,
But I
wanna
mean,
say,
but you don't like I said. No, I'm just saying like Dolph was on his way. The point I was trying to make
I got what you're
is
saying,
not about the verdict. The
billionaire,
point I'm
yeah.
trying to make
Yeah, I got what you're
is
saying.
that how many more billionaires are they gonna let in? Because you know now you got Jay-Z, now you got
Black billionaires.
Kanye, black billionaires. How many more black billionaires, especially ones that are not cooperating with the agenda, with the not going with the program? Because I mean, we got Oprah, but look at what she do.
One of my favorite Dolph albums is Thinking Out Loud. One of my favorite songs from Young Dolph is While You Here. One of my favorite features from Dolph is Young Thug song, Never Had It. And I guess I add this as a bonus. One of my favorite albums from him, and this one he got with Key Glock, is Dumber and Dumber. That's one of my favorite. I ain't gonna say it's a compilation album. It's only him and Key Glock on that album. The whole album, no features. Just once again saying how they roll and the way they was. You could like artists are showing love to them, of course, since he passed away and whatnot. But there's a lot of artists that did mess with him while he was here. The thing about it is, he just wasn't that type of artist to say, "Yo, I want this feature on here. I want this." He was just I'm gonna put my artist on here.
That's how you supposed to do if you trying to build up your. Cause let's look at all the failed record labels built by rappers that went nowhere because like were they building up their people? Were they people even strong enough to survive on their own? Saint Lunatics, DTP. I mean,
Saint Lunatics.
They were a group. I wouldn't say. I said were they strong enough to even survive on their own? I mean, the only one that broke off on their own was Murphy Lee, and I mean,
I give you DTP. But
realize how young Murphy Lee was. Like that shit blew my mind when I found that out. I was like, wait, what? Because I thought he was older for some reason. But like,
I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Because I want to ask something. I got because I can counter it, but yeah. I seen some No Limit Larry posted, and it was like 5 wealth lessons from Young Dolph. I ain't gonna go into detail about them, but I'm gonna just say the name of the 5 wealth lessons that he basically had was: regular job is the slowest way to wealth. Your network is your net worth. Be a CEO first. Invest, impress. Basically, greater than invest. Own or be owned.
True that.
Like, so you talking about an artist? Yeah, I'm listening to this artist. This was the artist I used to listen to. I mean, not used to listen to, but this was the artist that I was listening to.
And see me smile at the actual situation. And because they can sense that I'm not afraid of it, yeah, it's only because of my experience prior to.